I'm going to be fired. That's the only thought running through my mind as I stand outside the top-floor office of Rossi Enterprises, clutching a stack of files I definitely wasn't supposed to see. Their budgets. Confidential budgets. And I, Isla Bennett, 26-year-old temp worker assigned to the 7th floor, have absolutely no business holding them. But here's the thing about being a temp. You become invisible. People forget you're there. So when Mrs. Chun from accounting dropped these files and kept walking, phone pressed to her ear, completely oblivious, I did what any decent person would do. I picked them up. I just didn't realize they were meant for him.
Luca Rossi, CEO.
34 years old. Italian-American. Forbes 30 under 35, 2 years running. The man whose face graces the lobby of this building in a portrait so intimidating that new employees have been known to take the stairs just to avoid it. I've been working here for 3 weeks, and I've never even seen him in person. The executive floor is like another universe, one that temps don't get access to. Until now. The receptionist outside his office is gone. Probably lunch. The door is slightly ajar, and I can hear a voice inside.
Deep.
Accented. Irritated. I don't care about his excuses, Marco. The Singapore deal closes in 48 hours, and I need those projections now. My hand hovers over the door. I should just leave the files with reception. Come back later. Do literally anything except what I'm about to do. I knock. The voice stops mid-sentence. Come in. I push the door open, and my breath catches. The office is massive, floor-to-ceiling windows offering a panoramic view of the city, minimalist furniture that probably costs more than my car, and behind a desk of dark wood and glass sits Luca Rossi himself. He's even more striking in person. Dark hair pushed back carelessly, sharp jawline, and eyes so intensely brown they're almost black. He's in a white dress shirt with the sleeves rolled up, revealing forearms that have no business being that distracting. A phone is pressed to his ear, and those dark eyes lock onto me the moment I enter. He doesn't look away. Not when I walk toward his desk. Not when I place the files down carefully. Not when I open my mouth to explain, and nothing comes out. I'll call you back, he says into the phone, never breaking eye contact with me. He ends the call and sets the phone down slowly. Who are you? His voice is different when it's directed at me. Quieter, but somehow more intense. The accent is subtle, just a slight roll on certain words that makes my stomach flip. Isla Bennett. I'm a temp. These files, Mrs. Chin dropped them and they have your name on them, so I thought. You thought you'd bring them directly to me instead of leaving them with reception. It's not a question.
Yes.
I mean, I hesitate. Is that wrong? His gaze travels from my face down to the files and back up again.
Slowly.
Deliberately. Do you know what these are? Confidential budget projections for Q4. His eyebrow lifts, just slightly. You looked. The folder was open when I picked it up. I didn't mean to see, but you did see. He leans back in his chair, still watching me with an intensity that makes me want to squirm. And you brought them here, anyway.
Why?
Because. I swallow hard. Because they're important. And because Mrs. Chin looked stressed, and I didn't want her to get in trouble for losing them. Something shifts in his expression. Not quite a smile, but close. Loyal to someone you barely know. I guess. He stands, and I realize how tall he is. 6'2", maybe 6'3". He moves around the desk with the kind of confidence that comes from owning not just this office, but this entire building. This entire company. He stops directly in front of me. Close enough that I catch his scent, something expensive and cedar-tinged. What apartment are you in, Isla? The way he says my name, with that slight accent, makes it sound completely different. Foreign. Intimate. Administrative support. 7th floor. You like it there? It's a trap. It has to be. It's fine. That's not what I ask. I meet his eyes.
No.
I don't particularly like it. But it's temporary, so it doesn't really matter. Everything matters. He reaches past me, and for one insane second I think he's going to touch me, but instead he picks up the files. Do you have plans tomorrow? Tomorrow?
Yes. Tomorrow.
The day after today. There's definitely amusement in his voice now. I know. I mean, I have my regular shift. Not anymore. He returns to his desk, flipping open one of the files. Be here at 7 a.m. Not the 7th floor. Here. This office. My brain short-circuits. I don't understand. My assistant quit this morning. No notice. Very unprofessional. He looks up, and there's something almost predatory in his smile. I need someone who actually pays attention to detail. Someone who doesn't lose important files. Someone who shows initiative. You want me to be your assistant? Personal assistant, he corrects. There's a difference. But I'm a temp. I don't have any executive experience. I've only been here 3 weeks. And in 3 weeks, you've learned more about this company than most people learn in 3 years. I've seen your work, Isla. The filing system you created for the archives? The scheduling template you designed? I notice everything that happens in my company. The way he says everything sends a shiver down my spine. I don't even know what a personal assistant does. You'll learn. He's already looking back at the files, dismissing me. 7 a.m. Don't be late. Oh, and Isla. I pause at the door. Yes. He looks up one more time, and the intensity in his gaze makes my knees weak. Wear something professional. You'll be representing me now. I should feel insulted. Instead, I feel something else entirely. Something dangerous. I'll see you tomorrow, Mr. Rossi. Luca, he corrects softly. When we're alone, you call me Luca. I flee before I can do something stupid like ask why we'll be alone enough for that to matter. Chapter 1. First day in his world. I arrive at 6:45 a.m. wearing my most professional outfit, a black pencil skirt, burgundy blouse, and heels that are slightly too high but make me feel more capable than I actually am. The executive floor is quiet this early, just security and cleaning staff. The receptionist from yesterday, her name is Monica, according to her desk plate, arrives at 6:55 with coffee and a knowing look. You must be the new girl. She's older, maybe 50, with kind eyes. He goes through assistants like normal people go through coffee. My stomach drops. That's encouraging. Don't take it personally. He's demanding. Brilliant, but demanding. The last one lasted 2 months. She hands me a file folder. This is everything you need. Passwords, contacts, his schedule, his preferences. Memorize it. Memorize it? This is like 50 pages. Memorize it, she repeats firmly. He doesn't like repeating himself. And for God's sake, get his coffee order right. It's literally the first thing in that folder. I flip it open. The first page is indeed his coffee order. Double espresso, no sugar, with exactly 1/4 cup of steamed whole milk. Not skim. Not 2%. Whole. Temperature should be 160 degrees, never more. From the cafe on 5th and Madison, nowhere else. This is insane. This is Luca Rossi. Monica shrugs. His office door opens at 7 exactly. Be ready.
She's right.
At 7 o'clock on the elevator dings, and Luca steps out looking like he walked off a magazine cover. Charcoal suit, crisp white shirt, no tie. His hair is slightly damp, like he just showered, and those dark eyes find me immediately. You're early. You said 7. I said 7, expecting you to arrive at 7:15 and make excuses. He walks past me into his office. Come. I grab my bag and follow, trying not to notice how his suit fits him perfectly, or how he moves with a kind of grace that shouldn't be possible before sunrise. His office looks different in the morning light, less intimidating, more beautiful. The city is waking up below us, and the sun casts everything in gold. Sit. He gestures to a chair across from his desk while he settles into his own. First rule, I don't do small talk. When I ask you a question, I want the real answer, not the polite one. Understood? Yes. Second rule, my schedule is non-negotiable. If I say we have a meeting at 9, we have a meeting at 9. Not 9:05. Not 9:02. 9. Understood. Third rule, what happens in this office, what you see, what you hear, it stays between us. Complete discretion. Always. There's something weighted about the way he says that last part. I nod. Good. He slides a tablet across the desk. That's my schedule for today. 12 meetings for conference calls and a working dinner at 8. You'll attend everything, take notes, anticipate needs. I scan the schedule. It's brutal. Back to back with barely any breaks. When do you eat lunch? I don't. I stop myself. His eyes narrow. That's what? Rule number 1. Real answers. That's terrible for your health and your focus. You need to eat. I brace for him to snap at me. Instead, he leans back, studying me. My last assistant never questioned anything I did. Maybe that's why they quit. The silence stretches for 3 long seconds. Then he laughs. Actually laughs. It's a rich, warm sound that transforms his entire face. Maybe you're right.
He stands.
Let's get started. First meeting is in 20 minutes. Conference room B. I need the Nakamura files, the latest market analysis, and coffee. The specific coffee from 5th and Madison. Yes. He's already moving toward the door. You have 18 minutes. I practically run. The cafe is exactly 4 blocks away. I make it there in 6 minutes. Order his impossibly specific coffee while the barista gives me a sympathetic look that says she's made this order before and sprint back. 15 minutes total. I find Luca in conference room B with 3 other executives, all of them twice my age, and looking at me like I'm an intruder. I set his coffee down quietly and start to leave.
Isla.
His voice stops me. Stay. Take notes. For the next 90 minutes, I watch Luca Rossi dismantle a business proposal with surgical precision.
He's terrifying. Brilliant.
He sees angles no one else sees, asks questions that make grown men stammer, and does it all with a calm authority that's somehow more intimidating than yelling would be. And I can't stop watching him. The way his hands move when he makes a point, the way he listens, really listens before responding. The way he switches seamlessly between English and Italian when he's on calls with their Rome office. When the meeting finally ends, everyone files out except us. You didn't take notes, he says, not looking up from his phone.
Damn.
I'm sorry, I'm asking why. Because I was recording. I pull out my phone, showing him the recording app. I thought it would be more accurate than handwritten notes, and I can transcribe the important parts after. He takes my phone, checking the recording. When he hands it back, there's something almost like approval in his eyes. Smart. But I still want written notes for the next meeting. I need to know you can keep up. I can keep up. We'll see. He checks his watch. Next meeting in 30 minutes. My office. The Jakarta team will be calling in. Time difference means it's midnight there, so they'll be tired and irritable. I need you to have the construction timeline pulled up and ready. I spend the next 28 minutes frantically familiarizing myself with a construction project I didn't even know existed. By the time the call starts, I have every document he could possibly need open on my laptop. He notices. I can tell by the way his eyes flick to my screen and back to the call. But he doesn't say anything. The day continues like that. Meeting after meeting, call after call. He's relentless. But so am I. At 6 p.m., Monica pokes her head in. I'm heading out. Isla, you should too. He'll work until midnight if you let him. Luca doesn't look up from his laptop. She can leave whenever she wants. I should leave. I've been here for 11 hours. My feet hurt, I'm starving, and I have a headache forming behind my eyes. But there's something about the way he said it. She can leave whenever she wants, like he's testing me. I stay. At 7 p.m., I order dinner for both of us. Thai food from a place that has good reviews. When it arrives, I bring it into his office. You didn't have to do that. You said you have a working dinner at 8. That's in an hour. You should eat now. He stares at the food, then at me. You're still here. So are you. I own the company. I'm supposed to be here. And I'm your assistant, which means I'm supposed to be wherever you are. I set his food on his desk.
Eat.
You've had nothing but coffee all day. For a moment, I think he's going to argue. Instead, he closes his laptop and pulls the food toward him.
Sit.
You must be hungry too. We eat in silence, but it's not uncomfortable. Through the windows, the city lights are coming on, and the office feels almost intimate in the growing darkness. "Why did you take this job?" he asks suddenly. "You didn't really give me a choice." That's not an answer. I set down my fork, because I'm tired of being invisible. We're like furniture. People look through us. And you? I hesitate. You saw me. His gaze intensifies. I see everything, Isla. The way he says my name makes my pulse quicken. Your working dinner is in 40 minutes, I say, needing to break whatever is building between us. What do you need me to prepare? He checks his watch and stands. Nothing. You're coming with me. What? The working dinner. You're attending. Vincenzo Marchesi is flying in from Milan. He's my biggest investor and one of my oldest friends. I need you there. I can't. I'm not dressed for. You look fine. His eyes travel over me in a way that makes fine feel like so much more. Besides, Vincenzo will appreciate having someone beautiful to look at while we talk business. I'm still processing beautiful when he grabs his suit jacket and heads for the door. Come on, Isla. Your first day isn't over yet. The restaurant is the kind of place I've only read about in magazines. Dim lighting, wine bottles that probably cost more than my rent, waiters who move like dancers. Vincenzo Marchesi is already seated when we arrive, a handsome man in his 50s with silver hair and a warm smile. He stands when he sees us, embracing Luca like a brother. Finally, I was beginning to think you forgot about me. His Italian accent is much thicker than Luca's. Then he sees me, and his smile widens. And who is this? My new personal assistant, Isla Bennett. Personal assistant? Vincenzo's eyebrows rise. You've never brought an assistant to dinner before. I've never had one worth bringing. Luca pulls out a chair for me, his hand briefly touching the small of my back. The touch burns through my blouse. The dinner is surreal. They talk business, expansion into Asian markets, a potential acquisition, quarterly projections, but they also tell stories. About growing up. About Luca's early days building the company. About mistakes and successes, and the fine line between the two. And through it all, Luca keeps including me. Asking my opinion. Listening when I speak. His knee brushes against mine under the table twice, and I can't tell if it's accidental or deliberate. By the time dessert arrives, I've had 2 glasses of wine, and I'm relaxed enough to laugh at Vincenzo's story about Luca accidentally insulting a German CEO because of a translation error. She's good for you, Vincenzo says to Luca in Italian, probably thinking I don't understand. But I do understand. I took 4 years of Italian in college. Luca responds in Italian too. She's my assistant, nothing more. Of course. And I'm the Pope. Vincenzo grins at me. He's a terrible liar, this one. Always has been. What are you two saying? I ask innocently. Nothing important, Luca says, but there's color in his cheeks. Vincenzo was just leaving. I was. Vincenzo checks his watch. Ah, yes. So I was. Early flight tomorrow. He stands, kissing my hand in a gesture that's both old-fashioned and charming. It was a pleasure, Isla. Take care of him. He needs it more than he'll admit. After he leaves, Luca and I sit in silence for a moment. I should get you home, he finally says. I can take a cab. I have a car. Don't argue. The car is waiting outside, a sleek black Mercedes with a driver. Luca opens the door for me, then slides in beside me. The space feels suddenly too small. You didn't have to bring me to that dinner, I say as we pull into traffic. No. But I wanted to. He's looking out the window, his profile outlined by passing streetlights. You impress Vincenzo. That's not easy to do. I didn't do anything. Exactly. You were yourself. No pretense. No trying too hard. He turns to me. That's rare in my world. The car stops outside my apartment building, which looks embarrassingly shabby compared to everywhere we've been today. Thank you, I say. For the opportunity. For dinner. For today. Isla. He catches my wrist as I reach for the door handle. His thumb brushes against my pulse point, and I know he can feel how fast my heart is beating. Tomorrow will be harder than today, and the day after that will be harder still. This job will consume your life if you let it. Are you sure you want this? I should say no. I should recognize this for what it is, a warning that I'm in over my head. Instead, I meet his eyes and say, yes. His grip on my wrist tightens for just a second. Then he releases me. 7 a.m. Don't be late. I practically float up to my apartment, and it isn't until I'm inside, door closed, that I let myself acknowledge the truth. This job is going to be dangerous. Not because of the work. Because of him. And because of the way my entire body came alive when he touched my wrist. Chapter 2. Learning his rules. 3 weeks pass in a blur of meetings, phone calls, and learning to anticipate Luca's needs before he voices them. I discover that working for him is like conducting an orchestra. Everything has to be perfectly timed, every element in harmony, and one wrong note can derail the entire performance. I also discover that Luca Rossi has rules. So many rules. He doesn't like anyone touching his desk. He needs exactly 20 minutes of silence after difficult calls. He drinks sparkling water with lime, never lemon. He's allergic to shellfish, but will never mention it himself. I learned that one the hard way when I almost ordered shrimp for a lunch meeting. But the most important rule? The one he never actually states, but that I figure out through observation? He needs control. Complete, absolute control over every aspect of his life. Which makes what happens on a rainy Tuesday in mid-October so significant. We're preparing for a presentation to the board, a massive expansion proposal that Luca has been working on for 6 months. It's his baby, his vision, and the board is notoriously difficult to impress. The projections need to be perfect, he says for the 10th time that morning, pacing in front of the floor-to-ceiling windows. Marcus will challenge every number. Catherine will question the timeline. And Richard, he runs a hand through his hair, messing up the usually perfect style. Richard will try to undermine the entire thing because he wanted his son to be CEO instead of me. Then we make it unquestionable. I pull up the presentation on the large screen in his office. Walk me through it. Every slide. Pretend I'm the most skeptical board member alive. He stops pacing and looks at me. That will take hours. Then we have hours. I settle into a chair. Come on. Convince me why this expansion is worth $50 million. Something shifts in his expression. He walks toward me slowly, and there's a challenge in his eyes. You're serious. Completely. Fine. He picks up the remote. But don't hold back. If you see a weakness, call it out. For the next 3 hours, we tear apart his presentation. I challenge every assumption, question every projection, play devil's advocate until my voice is hoarse. And Luca comes alive.
This is him at his best.
Passionate, articulate, brilliant. He doesn't just defend his ideas. He makes me believe in them. Makes me see the future he's building. The Asian market is projected to grow by 40% in the next 3 years, he's saying, hands moving as he speaks. If we don't establish a presence now, we'll lose our competitive advantage. It's not just about profit, though there will be plenty of that. It's about positioning ourselves for the next decade. But the initial investment is huge. I counter. What if something goes wrong? What's your contingency? We build in phases. Test the market in Singapore first. If the numbers support it, we expand to Tokyo, then Hong Kong. If they don't, he shrugs. We adapt. That's what we do. I lean back, studying him. You really believe in this? I do. He sets down the remote and sits on the edge of his desk, close enough that I can see the gold flecks in his dark eyes. This company was my father's dream before it was mine. He built it from nothing. And when he died, everyone expected me to fail. To be too young, too inexperienced. I've spent 10 years proving them wrong. This expansion, his jaw tightens. This proves I'm not just maintaining what he built. I'm making it better. The vulnerability in his voice catches me off guard. This is different from the Luca who commands boardrooms and negotiates million-dollar deals. This is the man beneath the armor. They'd be insane to vote against this, I say softly. He holds my gaze for a long moment. Thank you. For what? For the last 3 hours. For making me sharper. Better. He stands, and suddenly he's very close.
You're good at this, Isla.
Better than you give yourself credit for. My heart is hammering. I'm just doing my job.
No.
He reaches out, and for one electric second, I think he's going to touch my face. Instead, he takes the tablet from my hands, his fingers brushing mine. You're doing so much more than that. The moment breaks when his phone rings. He steps away to answer it, and I release a breath I didn't know I was holding. The board meeting is the next morning. I arrive at 6 a.m. to make sure every detail is perfect. The conference room looks like a war room. Presentation materials organized, coffee service set up, backup laptops ready in case of technical difficulties. Luca arrives at 6:30, and I can see the tension in his shoulders. Everything's ready, I tell him. You're going to be incredible. He nods, adjusting his cufflinks. Stay close during the meeting. I might need you. The board members arrive at 7 a.m. sharp. They're exactly as intimidating as I imagined, powerful men and women in expensive suits, each one looking like they could buy and sell small countries before breakfast. Richard Palmer is the worst. 60, silver-haired, with cold blue eyes that assess me like I'm an insect. And who is this? My personal assistant, Isla Bennett. Luca's hand settles on the small of my back, proprietary. She'll be taking notes. Richard's eyes narrow, but he says nothing. The presentation begins, and I watch Luca transform. This is his domain. He commands the room effortlessly, fielding questions with precision, pivoting when challenged, never showing a hint of doubt. But 30 minutes in, Marcus, a heavy-set man with a scowl, raises his hand. These profit projections for year 3 seem optimistic. How do you account for market volatility? Luca doesn't miss a beat. We've built in a 15% buffer for market fluctuations. Additionally, Isla, pull up the risk assessment model. I have it ready before he finishes the sentence. It appears on the screen, and I see the brief flash of approval in his eyes. The questions continue, harder and more pointed. But for every challenge, Luca has an answer. And whenever he needs supporting data, I have it ready. We're a team. And everyone in this room can see it. Finally, after 2 hours, Catherine Winters, a sharp-eyed woman in her 50s, says, I've heard enough. I'm impressed, Luca. I vote yes. One by one, the other board members agree. Even Marcus gives a grudging nod. Only Richard remains silent. Richard? Luca's voice is neutral, but I can see the tension in his jaw. Richard stands, gathering his papers. You've done well today. Your father would be proud. He pauses at the door. I vote yes. The words hang in the air as he leaves. Then Luca's face breaks into the widest smile I've ever seen on him. We did it, he says quietly. You did it, I correct.
No.
He turns to me, and there's something fierce in his gaze. We did it. You were perfect, Isla. Absolutely perfect. The other board members congratulate him as they file out, but Luca's eyes never leave mine. And when we're finally alone in the conference room, he crosses the distance between us in 2 strides. For one heart-stopping moment, I think he's going to kiss me. Instead, he pulls me into a hug. It's quick, professional, but I feel the solid warmth of his chest against me, smell the cedar scent of his cologne, feel his breath against my hair. Then he releases me and steps back, and we're back to professional distance. But something has changed. The celebration happens that night at an exclusive rooftop bar. Luca insists I come. You earned this, he says, and I show up in the only cocktail dress I own, a simple black number that I hope doesn't scream. I'm out of my depth. The bar is filled with Rossi Enterprises executives, all toasting the successful board meeting. Vincenzo is there too, and he greets me with a warm hug. The brilliant assistant, he declares. Luca tells me you were essential today. He's being generous. No, he's not. He never is. Vincenzo leans in conspiratorially. I've known him since he was 24 years old, just starting this company.
I've never seen him so balanced.
You're good for him. Before I can respond, someone calls Vincenzo away, leaving me alone at the bar. I order a gin and tonic and try not to feel like an imposter. You clean up nice. I turn to find Marcus, the skeptical board member from this morning. He's on his second scotch, judging by the slight glaze in his eyes. Thank you. How long have you been working for Luca? About a month. His eyebrows rise. Only a month?
Could have fooled me.
You two work together, like you've been doing it for years.
He swirls his drink.
Word of advice? Be careful. I'm sorry. Luca is intense. He doesn't do anything halfway, including relationships. Marcus finishes his scotch. I've seen it before. The pretty assistant who gets too close. It never ends well. Before I can ask what he means, Luca appears at my elbow. Marcus. Enjoying yourself? His tone is pleasant, but there's an edge to it. Very much. Marcus raises his empty glass in salute and walks away. Luca watches him go, jaw tight. What did he say to you? Nothing important.
Isla.
He turns to me, and his eyes are dark. What did he say? He told me to be careful. That you're intense. That I shouldn't get too close. I meet his gaze. Should I be careful, Luca? He's silent for a long moment, and I can see him wrestling with something. Finally, he says, yes. The word hangs between us, heavy with meaning. Come on. He takes my arm, guiding me away from the bar toward a quieter corner of the rooftop. The city spreads out below us, a million lights in the darkness. I need to tell you something, he says, not looking at me. I'm not good at this. At relationships. At letting people in. I noticed. That earns me a small smile. I've had 3 assistants in the last year. All of them quit because they couldn't handle my expectations. Or because they wanted. He trails off. Wanted what? More than I could give them. Now he does look at me.
You're different, Isla. You challenge me.
Make me better. And that's dangerous. Why? Because I'm starting to want things I shouldn't want.
His voice is low, rough.
I'm starting to forget why there are rules. My heart is racing. What kind of things? He takes a step closer. We're not touching, but I can feel the heat radiating off him. Things like wondering what you taste like. Things like imagining what you'd look like in my bed. Things like wanting to cancel the rest of this party, so I can have you all to myself. I can barely breathe. Luca. But I can't. He steps back abruptly. You work.
For me.
That makes this impossible. I won't be the boss who takes advantage. I won't compromise your position or make you uncomfortable. So we're going to forget I said any of that, and tomorrow we'll go back to being professional. Understood. I should agree. Should let him draw this line and keep us both safe. Instead, I step forward, closing the distance he just created. What if I don't want to forget? His eyes widen slightly. Isla. What if I've been thinking the same things? What if I notice the way you look at me during meetings? What if I stay late not because the work demands it, but because I can't stand the thought of leaving you? My voice is shaking, but I don't stop. You're not the only one crossing lines in your head, Luca. The air between us is electric. He's staring at me like I just detonated a bomb, and maybe I have. This is a bad idea, he says, but he doesn't move away. Probably. You could lose your job. So could you. I'm serious, Isla. His hand comes up, hovering near my face, but not quite touching. If we do this, if we cross this line, there's no going back. And I don't do casual. I don't do halfway. If I have you, I have all of you. The possessiveness in his voice should scare me. Instead, it sends heat pooling low in my belly. Then have all of me, I whisper. For 3 seconds, nothing happens. Then his control shatters. His hand slides into my hair, tilting my head back, and his mouth crashes onto mine. The kiss is fierce, desperate, like he's been holding back for weeks and finally snapped. His other arm wraps around my waist, pulling me flush against him, and I gasp into his mouth at the solid heat of his body. I've been kissed before, but never like this. Never like I'm oxygen and he's drowning. His tongue sweeps against mine, demanding, claiming, and I meet him with equal hunger. My hands fist in his shirt, holding on because my knees have gone weak. When he finally pulls back, we're both breathing hard. His forehead rests against mine, his thumb tracing my jaw. We shouldn't have done that, he murmurs. Probably not. Everyone inside could have seen. I don't care. His grip on me tightens. You should care. This will complicate everything. Good. I pull back enough to meet his eyes. I like complicated. A slow smile spreads across his face, not the polite smile he gives clients or the sardonic one he gives board members. This is real. Unguarded. You're going to destroy me, aren't you? That depends. Are you going to keep kissing me? Absolutely. He kisses me again, softer this time but no less intense. When he breaks away, he's still smiling. But not here. Not where anyone can see. Come on. He takes my hand, fingers intertwining with mine, and leads me back inside. We say quick goodbyes, and if anyone notices us leaving together, they're too polite or too drunk to comment. The car ride back to my apartment is torture. We sit on opposite sides of the back seat, not touching, but I can feel his eyes on me. When I glance over, the hunger in his gaze makes my breath catch. If you keep looking at me like that, I say quietly, I'm not going to make it to my apartment. His jaw clenches. Then don't look at me. Can't help it. He makes a sound low in his throat and suddenly slides across the seat, his hand cupping my face as he kisses me again. This kiss is different, slower, deeper, like he's memorizing the taste of me. His thumb strokes my cheek while his other hand finds my knee, burning through the fabric of my dress. Sir, we've arrived, the driver says, and we spring apart like guilty teenagers. Luca clears his throat. Thank you, Martin. Take the rest of the night off. We practically stumble out of the car and into my building. The elevator ride to the 4th floor feels endless. The moment the doors close, Luca has me against the wall, his mouth on my neck, teeth grazing the sensitive spot below my ear. Which floor, he murmurs against my skin.
4.
God, Luca. Which apartment? For C, but if you keep doing that, we're not going to make it. He laughs, the sound vibrating against my throat. Patience, Tesoro. The elevator dings. He pulls back just as the doors open, and there's Mrs. Chen from down the hall stepping in. She takes one look at us, my flushed face, Luca's messed up hair, our joined hands, and smiles knowingly.
Good evening, Isla.
Hi, Mrs. Chen, I manage. We make it to my door, and my hands are shaking so badly, I can barely get the key in the lock. Luca takes it from me, opens the door, and the moment we're inside, his control snaps again. He kicks the door shut and pins me against it, his mouth claiming mine with bruising intensity. My hands slide under his suit jacket, pushing it off his shoulders. He shrugs out of it without breaking the kiss. Then his hands are on my waist, sliding up my ribs, his thumbs brushing the sides of my breasts through the thin fabric of my dress. I moan into his mouth, and he swallows the sound, pressing closer. I can feel every hard plane of his body, can feel exactly what this is doing to him, and it makes me dizzy with want. Bedroom. I gasp when he moves to my neck. Where? Down the hall. But Luca. I pull back enough to meet his eyes. Are you sure? Once we do this. He silences me with a kiss, gentle this time. I've never been more sure of anything. His hand cradles my face. But if you're not ready, I'm ready. I take his hand, leading him down the short hallway to my bedroom. I've been ready since that first day in your office. We tumble onto the bed, all hands and mouths and desperate need. He takes his time with me, like he's unwrapping something precious. Each kiss is deliberate, each touch reverent. When he finally removes my dress, sliding it down my body with aching slowness, he pulls back to look at me. Beautiful, he murmurs. So damn beautiful. I reach for his shirt, fumbling with the buttons until he takes over, stripping it off efficiently. And God, he's gorgeous. All lean muscle and golden skin, with a smattering of dark hair across his chest. Your turn to stare, he says with a hint of amusement. Can't help it. I pull him down to me. You're unfairly attractive. Unfairly. He kisses along my collarbone. I'll take that as a compliment. The rest of the night is a blur of sensation. His hands mapping every curve of my body. His mouth making me come apart with whispered Italian endearments I barely understand, but feel in my bones. The weight of him above me, inside me, moving with controlled power that gradually gives way to something raw and desperate. When it's over, we lie tangled together, both of us breathing hard. He pulls me against his chest, and I can feel his heart racing. That was... He trails off. Yeah. He laughs, the sound rumbling through his chest. Articulate as always. I prop myself up on one elbow to look at him. What happens now? His expression grows serious. Now we deal with the consequences. Consequences. At work. This changes everything, Isla. He tucks a strand of hair behind my ear. I meant what I said. I don't do halfway. Which means I can't have you as my assistant anymore. My heart drops. What? Not because you're not good at it, he adds quickly. Because I can't be objective. I can't be your boss and you're... He hesitates. Whatever this is. So you're firing me? We sleep together once, and...
No.
He sits up, pulling me with him. I'm promoting you. There's a position opening in strategic development. Same floor, similar work, but you'd be reporting to Catherine instead of me. You'd still be involved in major projects, but we wouldn't have that direct power dynamic. I stare at him. You've thought about this. I've thought about nothing else for weeks. His thumb strokes my arm. I want this, Isla. I want you, but I want to do it right. No rumors. No accusations that you slept your way to the top. You're too good for that. The fact that he's protecting both of us makes my chest tight. What if I don't want strategic development? What if I want to keep being your assistant? Then we stop this right now. His eyes are serious. I won't compromise you. Your career, your reputation, they matter more than what I want. I'm quiet for a long moment, thinking. Finally, I say, when does the position open? 2 weeks. Then we have 2 weeks to figure out if this is just chemistry or something more. He pulls me down for a kiss, slow and deep. I already know what it is. What? Everything, he whispers against my lips. You're everything. Chapter 3. Late nights and blurred lines. The next 2 weeks are the most intense of my life. During the day, we're professional. I'm still his assistant, still maintaining that careful distance. But every meeting feels charged, every accidental touch electric. And the looks he gives me when no one's watching? They make my knees weak. At night, though, at night he's mine. He comes to my apartment after work, usually carrying takeout, and that intense look that says he's been thinking about me all day. We eat, we talk, and then we inevitably end up in bed, learning each other's bodies with growing familiarity. I discover that he's surprisingly playful behind closed doors. That he has a tattoo on his ribs, coordinates that mark his family's home in Sicily. That he makes me coffee in the morning exactly the way I like it, even though I never told him how. He learns that I'm ticklish on my left side. That I steal the covers. That I talk in my sleep sometimes, usually nonsense, but occasionally his name. We're learning to be together, and it's terrifying how natural it feels. Tell me something, he says one night. We're in my bed, naked and tangled together, the sheets pulled around our waists. His fingers are tracing lazy patterns on my stomach. Like what? Something real. Something you don't tell people. I think about it. I wanted to be a writer when I was younger. Fiction. I had all these stories in my head, these whole worlds. But my parents said it wasn't practical, so I studied business instead. Sometimes I still write, late at night, when I can't sleep. But I've never shown anyone. His fingers still. Why not? Because it feels too personal. Like if someone reads it and hates it, they're hating a piece of my soul. He's quiet for a moment. Then, I'd like to read it someday. When you're ready. My throat tightens. Your turn. Tell me something real. He rolls onto his back, staring at the ceiling. I'm terrified I'm going to lose this company. Every day, I wake up wondering if today's the day I make the mistake that destroys everything my father built. The expansion, the board vote, that wasn't just about growth. It was about proving I'm worthy of the legacy he left me. I turn to face him. You are worthy. Anyone with eyes can see that. You didn't know my father. He was larger than life, brilliant, charismatic. Everyone loved him. His jaw tightens. I'm not like that. I'm cold, demanding. People respect me, but they don't love me. I think you're wrong. I trace the line of his jaw. Vincenzo loves you. Monica in reception always speaks highly of you. And the way your team worked to make that presentation perfect? That's not fear. That's loyalty. He catches my hand, pressing a kiss to my palm. And what about you? What about me? Do you love me, Isla? His voice is soft, vulnerable in a way I've never heard before. My heart stops. It's too soon. We've only been doing this for 2 weeks. But the truth is, yes, I whisper. I think I do. His eyes close briefly, and when they open, there's such raw emotion in them that I can barely breathe. Thank God, because I love you too, and it's been killing me not to say it. He kisses me then, deep and slow, and we make love with a tenderness that makes my eyes sting. This isn't just chemistry or lust. This is real. Afterward, lying in his arms, I say, we still have a problem.
The job. The job. He sighs.
I talked to Catherine yesterday. The position in strategic development is definitely opening. She'd be lucky to have you. When do I start? Monday. 4 days away. For more days of being his assistant, and then everything changes. I'm going to miss working directly with you. I admit. Me too. But Isla, he tilts my chin up so I'm looking at him. This way, I get to take you to dinner without it being a working dinner. I get to hold your hand in public. I get to tell people you're mine without worrying about lawsuits or HR violations. When you put it that way. Exactly. He kisses my forehead. Trust me, this is better. My last day as Luca's assistant is bittersweet. We have back-to-back meetings all day, and every time our eyes meet across a conference table, I feel the weight of this ending. Monica gives me a gift, a leather portfolio embossed with my initials. For your new position, she says with a knowing smile. Though I suspect you'll still be spending plenty of time on this floor. What makes you say that? She just laughs. Honey, I've worked here 15 years. I know when the boss is smitten. At 6 p.m., after everyone else has gone home, Luca calls me into his office one last time. Close the door, he says. I do, my heart racing. He's standing by the windows, silhouetted against the city lights, and he looks different. Nervous, maybe. I have something for you. He hands me a small box. Inside is a key. What's this? To my apartment. He takes a breath. I want you to move in with me. I stare at him. Luca, we've only been together 2 weeks. I know. It's crazy. It's too fast. He steps closer. But I hate the nights when you're not there. I hate waking up alone. And your apartment is. He trails off tactfully. Small and kind of terrible. I was going to say not befitting someone of your caliber, but yes. He takes my hands. I'm not asking you to give up your place.
Keep it.
But stay with me. Let me take care of you the way you take care of me. I should say no. Should tell him this is moving too fast, that we need to slow down. Instead, I say, okay. His face breaks into the biggest smile I've ever seen. Yes. Yes. I laugh at his expression. But I'm keeping my apartment. Just in case you turn out to be secretly terrible to live with. I am terrible to live with. I'm demanding and particular, and I hog the bathroom. He pulls me into his arms. But I'll make it worth your while.
How?
His mouth finds that spot on my neck that makes me melt. I have some ideas. We christen his desk that night, and his couch, and eventually make it to his office bathroom before security does their final rounds. Walking out of the building together, his arm around my waist, feels like a victory. Chapter 4. The Business Trip. 2 months into our relationship, everything is perfect. Almost too perfect. I've settled into the strategic development role, working on long-term planning for the company's expansion. I still see Luca every day, meetings, lunch, stolen moments in his office when no one's looking, but the dynamic has shifted. I'm his partner now, not his assistant. His equal. Living together is an adjustment. He wasn't kidding about being particular. He likes things organized in very specific ways, has a morning routine he refuses to deviate from, and can't function without at least 7 hours of sleep. But he also makes me coffee every morning before I'm awake, leaves notes on the bathroom mirror when he has early meetings, and has an uncanny ability to know when I've had a bad day and need ice cream and old movies. We work. Somehow, against all odds, we work. Then comes Singapore. I need you to come with me, Luca says one evening. We're in our apartment, and he's cooking dinner. One of his stress relief activities is cooking elaborate Italian meals, and tonight, he's making risotto from scratch. Come where? Singapore. The expansion we've been planning? We're ready to break ground. I need to be there in person, meet with local officials, finalize contracts. It's a week-long trip. A week. I set down my wine glass. Luca, I can't just leave for a week. I have projects. I already cleared it with Catherine. She said it makes sense for strategic development to be involved. He doesn't look up from stirring the risotto. Besides, I've never been away from you for more than a day since we got together. I'm not starting now. The possessiveness in his tone makes me smile. When do we leave? Friday. First class. The company is putting us up at the Marina Bay Sands. Now, he does look at me, and there's heat in his gaze. 1 week. Just you and me and a lot of very important business meetings. Just business meetings? Well, he sets down the spoon and crosses to me, pulling me up from the couch. We'll need to decompress after those meetings. And the hotel has an excellent spa. And a rooftop pool. His mouth finds my neck. And our suite will have a very large bed. You booked a suite? 2 bedrooms. For appearances. His teeth graze my earlobe. But I don't plan on using the second bedroom. Do you? Definitely not. The risotto burns while we make use of the kitchen counter, but neither of us cares. Singapore is incredible. The city is a blend of ultra-modern architecture and lush green spaces, somehow managing to be both frenetic and organized. Our hotel suite is absurdly luxurious. Floor-to-ceiling windows with views of the harbor, a bathroom bigger than my old apartment, and yes, a very large bed that we make excellent use of the first night. The business side of the trip is intense. Luca has meetings from dawn to midnight, and I'm by his side for most of them, taking notes, providing input when asked, watching him navigate cultural differences and language barriers with impressive skill. You're in your element here, I tell him one afternoon. We're in a cab between meetings, and he's reviewing contracts on his tablet. Am I?
Yes.
You're confident, assertive,
But you're also adapting.
being respectful of their customs, their way of doing business. It's impressive. He looks up, and there's something vulnerable in his expression. I'm nervous. You? Nervous? This expansion, if it fails, it's on me. $50 million and the company's reputation, all riding on my judgment. He sets down the tablet. What if I'm wrong? I take his hand. Then you'll figure it out. That's what you do, you solve problems. But Luca? You're not wrong. I've seen the research, the projections, the contracts. This is going to work. He pulls me close, kissing my temple. What did I do to deserve you? You kissed me on a rooftop and didn't apologize for it. He laughs. Best decision I ever made. That night, after a particularly grueling dinner meeting with government officials, we finally get back to the hotel at midnight. Luca collapses on the bed, still in his suit. I'm exhausted. I can see that. I start working on his tie, loosening it and pulling it free. When's your first meeting tomorrow? 9. Then you have time to sleep. I work on his shirt buttons next, and his hand catches my wrist. What are you doing? Taking care of you. I free another button. You take care of everyone all day. Let me take care of you tonight. His eyes darken. Isla. Sure. I finish with his shirt, pushing it off his shoulders. Just relax. I take my time undressing him, kissing newly exposed skin, feeling the tension gradually leave his muscles. By the time he's naked, he's watching me with an intensity that makes my pulse race. Your turn, he says, his voice rough. I thought I was taking care of you. You are. He sits up, pulling me between his legs. Having you, touching you, this is what I need. He undresses me slowly, reverently, and then we're skin to skin, and nothing else matters. Not the meetings tomorrow, not the millions of dollars at stake, not the thousands of miles from home. Just us. Afterward, wrapped in his arms, I say, I could get used to this. The 5-star hotels?
No. This.
You and me, facing the world together. He tightens his arms around me.
Get used to it.
Because I'm not letting you go. The breakthrough comes on day 5. We're in a meeting with Chinwei, the CEO of their biggest potential partner. He's been reluctant, cautious, asking the same questions over and over. Luca has been patient, but I can see the frustration building. Then Chinwei says something in Mandarin to his assistant, and she looks uncomfortable. What did he say? Luca asks me quietly. You speak Mandarin? Chinwei looks surprised. I do, I say smoothly. It's not in my official file, but my mother is Chinese American, and I grew up bilingual. You said you're concerned that a Western company won't understand the nuances of this market. That will bulldoze in with American arrogance and destroy what makes this region unique. There's a long silence. Luca is staring at me. Chinwei is staring at me. Then Chinwei laughs. Your research was very thorough, Mr. Rossi. Hiring someone who speaks the language? That shows respect. Ms. Bennett is one of our strategic development leads, Luca says, recovering smoothly. She's here because her insight is invaluable. I spend the next hour bridging the communication gap, translating not just words but intent, helping both sides understand each other better. By the end of the meeting, Chinwei is smiling. I think we can do business, Mr. Rossi. Your assistant, your colleague, she has shown me that you're serious about partnership, not just profit. After he leaves, Luca turns to me. You speak Mandarin? Yes. Fluently? Yes. And you didn't think to mention this before we flew to Asia? I bite my lip. I didn't think it was relevant. He crosses the room in 3 strides and kisses me breathless. When he pulls back, he's grinning. You're full of surprises, aren't you? I try. That meeting, you saved it. He was going to walk away, and you turned it around completely. He frames my face with his hands. Do you have any idea how incredible you are? I'm starting to get a hint. That night, we celebrate. Room service champagne, a bath in the enormous tub with city views, and hours in that big bed proving to each other exactly how we feel. I love you, he murmurs against my skin. God, Isla, I love you so much. I love you too. When we get back to New York, I want to make this official. I pull back to look at him. Official?
Tell people.
Openly. No more hiding, no more being careful about who sees us together. His thumb strokes my cheek. I want everyone to know you're mine. That's very caveman of you. Is it working? Maybe. He rolls us over, pinning me beneath him. How about now? Getting warmer. He kisses down my body, showing me exactly how persuasive he can be, and by the time he's done, I'd agree to anything. The last 2 days in Singapore fly by. The contracts are signed, the partnership's finalized, and Luca is flying high on success. We explore the city when we can, the botanic gardens, hawker centers with incredible street food, the rooftop pool where we swim under the stars. On our last night, we're having dinner at the hotel restaurant when Luca's phone rings. He frowns at the screen. It's Richard Palmer, the board member who barely voted yes on the expansion. Luca steps away to take the call, and I watch his face change from curious to furious in about 30 seconds. When he comes back, he's pale. What's wrong? There's a problem. A big one. He sits down heavily. Someone's been embezzling from the company. Richard says the auditors found discrepancies going back 6 months. Millions of dollars missing. My blood runs cold.
Who?
They don't know yet. But Richard wanted to give me a heads up before it goes public. He runs a hand through his hair. We need to get back to New York.
Now.
We book a flight for the next morning and spend the rest of the night strategizing. By the time we board the plane, Luca has barely slept, and the tension is radiating off him in waves. It's going to be okay, I tell him as we settle into our first-class seats. You don't know that. I know you, and I know you'll handle this. I take his hand. Whatever happens, we face it together. Remember? He brings my hand to his lips. Together. But as the plane takes off, heading back toward whatever mess awaits us in New York, I can't shake the feeling that our perfect bubble is about to burst. And I have no idea how bad it's going to get. Chapter 5, Crossing Boundaries. We land in New York at 6 a.m., both of us exhausted and running on airport coffee. Luca hasn't slept at all. I know because I woke up twice during the flight to find him working on his laptop, jaw tight with tension. A car is waiting to take us directly to Rossi Enterprises. The office is quiet at this hour, just security and cleaning crews. But the forensic auditors are already there, set up in conference room A with boxes of files and grim expressions. Mr. Rossi. The lead auditor is a stern woman in her 50s named Patricia Kane. Thank you for coming in so quickly. What have you found? It's extensive. Someone with high-level access has been siphoning funds through fake vendor accounts for at least 8 months. The total so far is close to $4 million. Luca goes very still. 4 million. And that's just what we've found so far. It could be more. Who has that level of access? Patricia hesitates. That's the problem. Based on the authorization codes, it's someone with executive clearance. Your CFO, your COO, your head of operations, or... She pauses. You. The implication hangs in the air. Luca's face hardens. You think I stole from my own company? We're not accusing anyone yet. But we need to investigate everyone with access, including you. It's procedure.
Fine.
Investigate me. Pull every record, every transaction. I have nothing to hide. He turns to leave, then stops. How long until this goes public? We're required to file a report with the SEC within 24 hours of confirmed fraud. After that, she shrugs. It'll be everywhere. In the elevator, Luca is silent. I can see him processing, already thinking 3 steps ahead. It's not you, I say quietly. Of course it's not me. So who? I don't know. But I'm going to find out. The elevator opens on his floor. I need you to do something for me. Anything. Pull the personnel files for everyone with executive access. Look for anything unusual, financial troubles, sudden lifestyle changes, anything that might indicate motive. Can you do that without raising suspicion?
Yes.
But Luca, this is serious. Maybe we should let the auditors handle it. The auditors will take weeks. We don't have weeks. Once this goes public, our stock price will tank. Partners will get nervous. The Singapore deal could fall apart. His jaw is tight. I need to get ahead of this. I spend the next 3 days buried in files. Luca's CFO has been with the company for 20 years, owns a modest house in Connecticut, kids in college. The COO is wealthy, but from family money, with no unusual spending. The head of operations is actually underspending given his salary, probably saving for retirement. Nothing fits. It's not until I'm going through expense reports that something catches my eye. Small charges to a consulting firm I don't recognize. They're buried in different departments, never more than a few thousand at a time. Easy to miss. But they're all approved by the same person. My heart sinks as I see the signature. Marco Santoro. Luca's second in command. His mentor. The man who's been with the company since Luca's father was alive. No, I whisper to myself. It can't be. But the more I dig, the clearer it becomes. Marco has been using his position to create fake vendors, approve fake invoices, and funnel money into accounts that eventually lead back to him. He's been careful, spreading the theft across multiple departments, keeping individual amounts small. But over 8 months, it adds up to $4 million. I find Luca in his office at midnight. He's still in the suit he wore on the plane, tie loosened, hair disheveled from running his hands through it. I found something, I say quietly, closing the door behind me. He looks up, and the hope in his eyes kills me.
Who?
I hand him the file. Watch as he opens it. See the exact moment he realizes what he's looking at.
No.
He stands abruptly. Not Marco. There has to be a mistake. I've triple-checked. It's him, Luca. Marco has been with this company for 15 years. He knew my father. He helped me build everything we have.
His voice is rising.
Why would he do this? I don't know. But the evidence. I don't care about the evidence. He slams his hand on the desk, and I flinch. He sees my reaction and immediately softens. I'm sorry. He sinks back into his chair. Marco is family. I move around the desk, kneeling beside his chair. I know this is hard, but we have to tell the auditors. Once I do, his life is over. Criminal charges, prison, his reputation destroyed. He looks at me with such anguish it breaks my heart. He has a wife, kids, and he stole $4 million from you. The words are harsh, but they need to be said. Luca closes his eyes. You're right. Of course you're right. He pulls me into his arms, holding me tight. I don't know what I'd do without you. You'd figure it out. You always do. He kisses the top of my head. Stay with me tonight? Here in the office. I don't want to be alone. We move to the couch in his office. He lies with his head in my lap, and I run my fingers through his hair while he stares at nothing. My father trusted Marco, he says eventually. When Dad died, Marco could have left. Could have taken a better offer somewhere else. But he stayed because he believed in me. Or I thought he did. Maybe he did believe in you. Maybe he just made a terrible choice. That's generous. I'm feeling generous. I lean down to kiss him. Besides, I know what it's like to care about someone who lets you down. My father gambled away my college fund. I still love him, even though what he did was wrong. Luca sits up, turning to face me. You never told me that. You never asked about my family. Tell me now. So I do. Tell him about my father's addiction, my mother's quiet strength, growing up never knowing if we'd make rent. About working 3 jobs to put myself through community college, about feeling like an imposter in the corporate world because I didn't have the right pedigree or connections. Is that why you became a temp, he asks. Partially. It's hard to fail at a job you're only expected to be mediocre at. I laugh sadly. Then you came along and ruined that safety net. By seeing you. By seeing me. He frames my face with his hands. I see all of you, Isla. The brilliant, insecure, generous, stubborn woman who somehow makes me want to be better. And I'm so grateful you're in my life. Even when I bring you evidence that your mentor is embezzling? Especially then. Because you did it anyway, even knowing it would hurt me. That's integrity. He kisses me softly. I love you. I love you too. We fall asleep on the couch, tangled together, and that's where Monica finds us at 6 a.m. Sorry to interrupt, she says tactfully, though her eyes are knowing. But Mr. Santoro is here. He's asking for you. Luca sits up immediately, all traces of softness gone. Send him in. Luca, wait. I start, but he's already standing, straightening his tie. Go to your office. I need to handle this alone. But, please, Isla. His voice is firm. I need to do this myself. I leave reluctantly, but I don't go to my office. Instead, I wait in the hallway, close enough to hear if things go wrong. Through the door, I hear Luca's voice, cold and controlled. I know what you did, Marco. A pause. Then Marco. Luca, I can explain. $4 million. That's what the auditors found. How much more is there? It's not what you think. Then tell me what it is. Tell me why the man I trusted, the man my father trusted, has been stealing from this company for 8 months. The silence stretches. Then Marco's voice broken. My daughter. She has leukemia. The treatments aren't covered by insurance, experimental protocols, specialists. I was desperate. I thought I could pay it back before anyone noticed, but the bills kept coming, and His voice cracks. I'm sorry. God, Luca, I'm so sorry. My hand covers my mouth. This changes everything. Why didn't you come to me? Luca's voice is strained. Why didn't you tell me she was sick?
Pride. Shame.
I don't know. By the time I realized how bad it was, I'd already taken the money. I thought if I could just get her through treatment, I'd find a way to make it right. How is she? In remission. As of last week. Another long pause. Then, you need to resign. Effective immediately. Luca. I'm giving you a choice, Marco. You resign, you pay back every dollar over the next 5 years, and I don't press charges. Or this goes to the police and you go to prison. Those are your options. The auditors. I'll handle the auditors. But you need to leave.
Now.
Before I change my mind. I hear movement, and I quickly duck into an empty office. Marco emerges looking 10 years older, his eyes red. He doesn't see me as he heads for the elevator. When I return to Luca's office, he's standing at the windows, hands in his pockets, staring out at the city. You heard, he says without turning around. Yes. You think I'm a fool?
No.
I think you're compassionate. I move to stand beside him. You could have destroyed him, sent him to prison. Instead, you gave him a chance. I'm still destroying him. His career is over. His reputation. Once this gets out, no one will hire him. But his daughter is alive. And he's not in prison. That's more mercy than most people would give. He finally looks at me. The auditors are going to want to know why I'm not pressing charges. Then we tell them the truth. That he's paying it back, that extenuating circumstances led to a terrible decision, and that this way the company recoups its losses without the PR nightmare of a criminal trial. A small smile tugs at his lips. You'd make a good CEO someday. I'm happy in strategic development. Are you? He turns to face me fully. Because I was thinking with Marco gone, I need a new COO. Someone I trust completely. Someone who challenges me and makes me better. My heart stops. Luca, I've only been here 5 months. And in 5 months, you've done more for this company than some people do in 5 years. You saved the Singapore deal. You found the embezzlement. He steps closer. You make me better, Isla. In every way. This is crazy. People will say, I slept my way to the position. Let them talk. We'll know the truth. His hands find my waist. I'm not asking you to decide right now. Think about it. But I want you by my side. Officially. As my partner in every sense of the word. Before I can respond, his phone rings. He glances at it and his expression darkens. It's Richard Palmer. He answers. Richard, yes, we've identified the source. Marco Santoro. He's resigned. No, I'm handling it internally. His face goes pale. What do you mean, leak? I watch as he listens, his knuckles white around the phone. I see. Thank you for the warning. He ends the call and looks at me. Someone leaked the embezzlement story to the press. It'll be in the financial papers tomorrow morning. Who would? Doesn't matter. What matters is damage control. He's already moving, grabbing his jacket. I need to call an emergency board meeting. Get Catherine and the PR team on the phone. And Isla. He pauses at the door. I need you to draft a statement. Something that acknowledges the issue but emphasizes we've resolved it internally.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Good.
Meet me in conference room A in 20 minutes. He's gone before I can say anything else, leaving me standing in his office, my head spinning. The next 72 hours are chaos. The story breaks on Thursday morning, and by Thursday afternoon, our stock has dropped 12%. The phones are ringing constantly, investors demanding answers, partners expressing concern, media outlets wanting statements. Luca is in crisis mode. He barely sleeps, barely eats, runs from meeting to meeting with intensity that borders on manic. I'm by his side for all of it, taking notes, drafting responses, making sure he remembers to breathe. On Friday, he appears on CNBC for a live interview. I watch from the green room as he calmly explains that the issue has been resolved, the individual responsible has been removed, and Rossi Enterprises remains financially sound. Some are saying this raises questions about your oversight. The interviewer presses. How could millions of dollars go missing under your watch? Luca doesn't flinch. It's a fair question. We've conducted a full audit and implemented new controls to ensure this never happens again. But I take full responsibility for what occurred under my leadership. Your father built this company. How do you think he'd feel about what's happened? It's a low blow, and I see Luca's jaw tighten. But his voice remains steady. My father taught me that integrity means owning your mistakes and fixing them. That's exactly what we're doing. The interview wraps, and when Luca comes off set, he looks exhausted. You were perfect, I tell him. I was adequate. He loosens his tie.
Come on.
We have a board meeting in an hour. The board meeting is tense. Richard Palmer leads the charge, questioning every decision Luca made, from how he handled Marco to why he didn't press charges. It looks weak, Richard argues. Like you're protecting your friends instead of the company. I'm protecting the company by recovering the funds and avoiding a public trial that would keep this story in the news for months, Luca counters. Marco is paying back every dollar. We've implemented new oversight procedures. And we're moving forward. At what cost? Your credibility is damaged. The board's confidence is shaken. Richard leans forward. Some of us are wondering if you're really the right person to lead this company. The room goes silent. I can see Luca processing this, see the moment he realizes what Richard is really saying. Are you calling for a vote of no confidence? Richard doesn't answer directly. I'm saying we need to consider all our options. Catherine Winters speaks up. That's premature, Richard. Yes, this is a crisis. But Luca has handled it well. The Singapore expansion is still moving forward. Our Q3 numbers are strong. One incident doesn't erase 10 years of excellent leadership. Other board members chime in, some supporting Luca, others agreeing with Richard. The meeting devolves into arguments, and by the time it ends, nothing is resolved except that there will be another meeting next week to discuss the future. In the elevator down, Luca is silent. I take his hand, and he grips it like a lifeline. They're going to try to remove me, he says quietly.
No.
Catherine's right, this is one incident. You've been an incredible CEO. Richard has been looking for an excuse since the day I took over. And now I've handed him one. He looks at me, and the vulnerability in his eyes breaks my heart. What if they succeed? What if I lose everything my father built? Then you'll build something new. But it's not going to come to that. You don't know that. I know you. And I know you don't give up. I step closer. You're going to fight, and you're going to win. And I'm going to be right there with you. His arms come around me, pulling me close despite the fact that we're in the company elevator. What did I do to deserve you? You saw me when I was invisible. Now I'm returning the favor. The elevator opens on the ground floor, and we step apart quickly. But as we walk to the car, his hand finds mine again, and he doesn't let go. That weekend, we hide away in the apartment. Luca tries to work, but I keep pulling him away from his laptop, insisting he needs to rest. I can't rest, he argues. I need to prepare for the board meeting. I need to shore up support. You need to remember that you're human. I straddle his lap on the couch, forcing him to look at me. You've been running on empty for days. You're going to burn out. I don't have time to burn out. Make time. I kiss him softly. 2 hours. Give me 2 hours where you're not the CEO, not planning or strategizing. Just you and me. He studies me for a long moment. Then his hands slide up my thighs. What did you have in mind? I was thinking dinner and a movie, but I like where your head's at. He laughs, and it's the first genuine laugh I've heard from him in days. You're dangerous. You like it. I love it. He stands, lifting me with him. But I want more than 2 hours. We spend the entire weekend in bed, talking and making love, and just being together. He tells me about growing up in his father's shadow, about the pressure to be perfect, about the fear that he'll never be enough. I tell him about feeling like an outsider in the corporate world, about the imposter syndrome that follows me everywhere, about how loving him terrifies me because I have so much to lose. You won't lose me, he promises, holding me close. Whatever happens with the board, with the company, we're solid. You and me. Promise. I promise. On Sunday night, as we're falling asleep, he says, I meant what I said about the COO position. I want you to take it. Luca.
Not now.
Not while everything is in chaos. But when the dust settles. He kisses my forehead. Think about it. Please. I will. But as I drift off, I can't shake the feeling that the dust isn't going to settle anytime soon. And I have no idea how right I am. Chapter 6. The Almost Kiss. Monday morning brings a surprise visitor. I'm at my desk in strategic development when Monica calls. Isla, there's someone here to see you. Says she's a friend. I head to reception and stop short when I see who's waiting. Emma Rodriguez. My best friend from college who I haven't seen in 6 months because life got complicated. Emma? I cross the lobby to hug her. What are you doing here? I could ask you the same thing. She pulls back, looking around at the sleek office, the expensive art, the general air of wealth. This is where you work? Girl, you've been holding out on me. It's a long story. Come on, let's get coffee. We end up at the cafe down the street, and Emma orders the most complicated drink on the menu while I stick with black coffee. So, she says once we're seated, you going to tell me what's going on? I've been calling for weeks, and you keep saying you're busy. I saw the news about the embezzlement, is that why? Partially. And the other part?
I take a breath.
I'm seeing someone. Her eyes light up. Finally.
Who is he?
How long has this been going on? Why haven't you told me? It's complicated. Complicated how? I hesitate, then decide. She deserves the truth. He's my boss. Well, not technically anymore, but he was when we started. And he's the CEO of the company. And I pull out my phone, showing her a photo from Singapore, Luca, and me at the Marina Bay Sands, his arm around my waist, both of us smiling. Emma's jaw drops. That's Luca Rossi. That's the Luca Rossi. Isla, what the hell? I know. How did this even happen? I tell her everything. The unexpected promotion, the growing attraction, the rooftop kiss, moving in together. By the time I'm done, she's staring at me like I'm a stranger. This is insane, she finally says. You're living with him? Isla, you've known him for like 5 months. I know it's fast. Fast? It's supersonic. And he's your boss? What happens if it doesn't work out? You lose your job and your relationship. He's not my boss anymore. And it's going to work out. You can't know that. I love him, Emma. She softens slightly. I can see that. But sweetie, you need to be careful. Guys like that, rich, powerful, gorgeous, they're used to getting what they want. What if you're just the next thing he wants? The words hit harder than they should. It's not like that. Are you sure? Because from where I'm sitting, this looks like a pretty unequal relationship. He has all the power, the money, the position, the control. You don't know him. And you do? After 5 months. She reaches across the table. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to protect you. I've seen you get your heart broken before, and this. She gestures vaguely. This has disaster written all over it. I pull my hand back. I should get back to work. Isla, come on. Thanks for the concern, Emma.
Really?
But I know what I'm doing. I leave before she can argue, but her words follow me back to the office. What if you're just the next thing he wants? I try to shake off the conversation, but it festers. By the time Luca calls asking me to come to his office, I'm wound tight with anxiety. Close the door, he says when I enter. I do, my heart hammering. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I just wanted to see you. He stands, moving around his desk. You've been avoiding me today. I've been working.
Isla.
He tilts my chin up. What's wrong? I should lie. Should tell him everything's fine. Instead, the truth tumbles out. My friend came by today.
Emma.
She said she thinks this is moving too fast, that the power dynamic is unhealthy, that you might just be... I can't finish the sentence. His expression hardens. Using you? I told her she was wrong, but some part of you wonders if she's right. It's not a question. He steps back, putting distance between us. Do you think I'm using you?
No.
But I struggle to articulate it. Everything in my life has changed because of you. My job, where I live, who I spend time with. Sometimes I wonder if I'm losing myself in you. He's quiet for a long moment. When he speaks, his voice is careful. Do you want to move back to your apartment?
What?
No. Because you can. You should, if that's what you need. He runs a hand through his hair. I never wanted you to feel trapped, Isla. Or dependent on me. I don't feel trapped. I take a breath. I need to know this is real. That we're equals, even though you're the CEO and I'm. I gesture helplessly.
Me.
He crosses back to me in 2 strides. You are not just anything. You're brilliant and strong, and you make me want to be better. And yes, I have more money and a fancier title, but that doesn't make me more important. His hands frame my face. If anything, you have more power in this relationship than I do. How do you figure? Because I'm completely gone for you. Absolutely, terrifyingly in love with you. Which means you could destroy me if you wanted to.
His thumb strokes my cheek.
Does that sound like an unequal power dynamic? My eyes sting. Luca. I should have asked if you wanted to move in instead of just giving you a key. I should have been more thoughtful about how fast we're moving. But I'm not going to apologize for wanting you in my life. For wanting to take care of you. I don't need you to take care of me. I know you don't. That's one of the things I love most about you. He kisses my forehead. But I want it anyway. Is that so wrong? No. I whisper. It's not wrong. Then tell your friend to mind her own business and come home with me tonight so I can show you exactly how real this is. I laugh despite myself. That's your solution? Sex. It's a good solution. His mouth finds my neck. We could skip dinner. Go straight to the showing you part. We're in your office. I know where we are. His teeth graze my pulse point. I've been thinking about having you on this desk again, Luca. But my protest is weak, especially when his hand slides up my thigh under my skirt. Tell me to stop and I will. I should tell him to stop. Should maintain professional boundaries. Instead, I pull him closer. Don't stop. What follows is frantic and desperate. He lifts me onto his desk, pushes my skirt up, and drops to his knees. By the time he's done with his mouth, I'm shaking. Then he stands, unfastens his belt, and slides inside me in one smooth thrust that makes us both groan. This is real, he growls against my neck, moving with controlled power. This is real, Isla. What we have. He pulls back to look at me, and the raw emotion in his eyes steals my breath. You're everything to me. Everything. I come apart in his arms, and he follows seconds later, my name on his lips like a prayer. Afterward, pressed together, both of us trembling, he whispers, "Don't doubt us."
Please.
Doubt anything else, but not us. Okay, I breathe. I won't. But even as I say it, I wonder if it's a promise I can keep. Chapter 7. Complications arise. The board meeting to determine Luca's future is scheduled for Friday. By Wednesday, the tension in the office is suffocating. Everyone knows what's at stake, and people are choosing sides. I'm working late when Catherine Winter stops by my office.
Isla.
Do you have a moment? I gesture to the chair across from my desk. Catherine has always been kind to me, but there's something serious in her expression that makes me nervous. I wanted to talk to you about Friday's meeting. Okay. Richard is going to push for a vote of no confidence. He has 3 other board members on his side. She leans forward. That's 4 votes against Luca. We need 5 to block it, and right now we only have 4 supporting him. My stomach drops. What about the 9th vote? Gerald Morrison. He's undecided, and Richard is working hard to sway him. She pauses. I need to know if there's anything at all, that could hurt Luca's case. Any skeletons in the closet that Richard might use.
My mouth goes dry.
She knows. She has to know about us. Why are you asking me? Because you're close to him. Closer than anyone. Her gaze is knowing, but not judgmental. I'm not blind, Isla. I see how you look at each other. And I don't care about your personal life. That's between you two. But if Richard finds out and uses it against Luca, claims inappropriate workplace behavior or favoritism. We didn't start seeing each other until after I left his direct supervision. And I never received any preferential treatment. I know that. But Richard won't care about the truth. He'll care about the optics. Catherine stands. I'm telling you this because I like you both. And because I want Luca to keep his position. So, if there's anything that could come out, you need to tell him. Before Richard drops it in the middle of the meeting. After she leaves, I sit in the dark office, my heart racing. Could Richard know about us? And if he does, what will he do with that information? I find Luca still in his office at 9 p.m., surrounded by papers. We need to talk, I say, closing the door. He looks up, immediately alert. What's wrong? I tell him about Catherine's visit, watching his face grow darker with each word. Richard doesn't know, he says when I finish. If he did, he would have used it already. Are you sure?
No.
He stands pacing. But even if he does, what can he say? That I'm in a relationship with someone who no longer reports to me? That's not against company policy. But the optics. I don't care about the optics. He stops pacing, running his hands through his hair. I'm sorry. I'm tired of defending every decision I make. Tired of walking on eggshells because Richard never got over the fact that my father chose me instead of his son. I go to him, taking his hands. I know. But Friday is important. And if our relationship gives Richard ammunition, then what? We break up to save my job. His grip tightens. I'm not doing that, Isla. I'm not choosing the company over you. I'm not asking you to break up with me. I'm asking you to think strategically. Maybe we keep things quiet until after the vote. Maybe we hide. His laugh is bitter. Pretend we're not together? Just for a few more days.
No.
He releases my hands, stepping back. I'm done hiding. Done pretending. If Richard wants to use our relationship against me, let him. At least then the board will see what he really is. A petty man more interested in revenge than what's best for the company. Luca, please. I need you to leave. The words are like a slap.
What?
I need space. To think.
He won't look at me.
Go home. I'll be there later. This is home. Our home. Isla, please. I can't, his voice cracks. I can't think when you're here, and I need to think. I leave because there's nothing else to do. Take a cab to the apartment, let myself in, and stand in the middle of the living room, trying not to cry. This is falling apart. Everything we've built, unraveling because of board politics and power plays. I'm still standing there an hour later when the door opens. Luca enters, looking exhausted and defeated. I'm sorry, he says immediately. I shouldn't have sent you away. No, you shouldn't have. I was angry. At Richard, at the situation. Not at you. Never at you. He crosses to me. Forgive me? Always. I touch his face. But we need to talk about Friday. I know. He pulls me to the couch, keeping my hand in his. I've been thinking. Catherine's right. We need to be prepared for Richard to bring us up. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get ahead of it.
How?
At the start of the meeting, I'm going to disclose our relationship. Explain that it began after you left my direct supervision, that it's serious, and that it has no bearing on my ability to lead this company. He squeezes my hand. If I control the narrative, Richard can't use it as a weapon. That could backfire. It could, but I'd rather be honest than let him ambush us. He pulls me close. I love you, Isla. I'm not ashamed of that. And I'm not going to act like I am just to appease a board member who's never going to support me anyway. What if it costs you the vote? Then I lose. but I lose with my integrity intact. He kisses my forehead, and I lose knowing I fought for us. I want to argue, to find another way, but looking at his face, I realize this is who he is.
Honest.
Principled. Willing to risk everything for what he believes in, even if what he believes in is us. Okay, I whisper. We do it your way. Thank you. He stands, pulling me up with him. Come to bed. I need to hold you. We lie tangled together in the dark, neither of us sleeping, both of us wondering if tomorrow will be the beginning of something new or the end of everything we've built. Friday morning dawns cold and gray, fitting the mood. Luca is up before sunrise, already dressed in his sharpest suit. Armor for the battle ahead. You don't have to come to the meeting, he tells me over coffee. I'm coming. Isla. I'm coming. I repeat firmly. We're in this together, remember? He pulls me into a kiss that tastes like goodbye, even though neither of us says it. The boardroom is packed when we arrive. All 9 board members, plus the company's legal counsel and head of HR. Everyone stands when Luca enters, and the formality of it makes my chest tight. Thank you all for coming, Luca begins, taking his seat at the head of the table. I sit along the wall, technically just an observer. Before we begin the formal proceedings, there's something I need to disclose. Richard leans forward, smelling blood. As you all know, Isla Bennett currently works in strategic development. What you may not know is that she and I are in a personal relationship. This relationship began after she left her position as my personal assistant, and it has no bearing on her professional performance or mine. I'm disclosing this now because I believe in transparency, and because I won't allow anyone to use my personal life as a weapon against my leadership. The room erupts. Richard is furious. Clearly he'd been planning this revelation himself. Catherine is nodding approvingly. The others look various shades of surprised and uncomfortable. This is highly inappropriate, Richard sputters. You've been sleeping with an employee. Miss Bennett does not report to me. Luca cuts in smoothly. Our relationship violates no company policy and creates no conflict of interest. Unless you'd like to argue that I should be barred from dating anyone who works for Rossi Enterprises? The optics. The optics are fine. 2 consenting adults in a relationship. Unless you're suggesting there's something inherently wrong with that. Richard's face is red. You're twisting my words. No, I'm clarifying them. This relationship is serious, it's respectful, and it's no one's business but ours. Now, can we move on to the actual issue at hand? Gerald Morrison, the undecided vote, speaks up. With all due respect, Luca, this does raise questions. You promoted her from temp to assistant to strategic development in a matter of months. Some might see that as favoritism. Some might, Luca agrees. But if you look at her work, the Singapore deal she helped save, the embezzlement she uncovered, the strategic plan she's developed, I think you'll find she's earned every promotion on merit alone. I'd like to speak, I say suddenly. Everyone turns to look at me. My heart is pounding, but I stand. If I may. Luca looks surprised but nods. Go ahead. I face the board, trying to project confidence I don't feel. I understand your concerns. And if I'm being honest, I've had the same concerns. Dating your CEO is complicated. But here's what I know. Luca Rossi is the most ethical person I've ever worked for. When I was his assistant, he never once crossed a line. When we did start seeing each other, he immediately moved me out of his direct supervision specifically to avoid any conflict of interest. And when he offered me a promotion, I turned it down initially because I didn't want anyone to question whether I'd earned it. You turned down a promotion? Catherine asks.
Twice.
I only accepted when he showed me the performance metrics proving I was qualified. I look at Luca, and he's watching me with such intensity it makes my knees weak. So, if you want to question his judgment, question it based on his business decisions, not on who he loves. The silence that follows feels like it lasts forever. Then Gerald Morrison nods slowly. That took guts, Ms. Bennett. Thank you for your candor. Richard looks like he's about to explode. This is ridiculous. We're not here to discuss Luca's love life. You're the one who brought it up, Catherine says coolly. Or you were planning to. Luca just beat you to it. Can we move on? Gerald says. I'd like to hear Luca's plan for moving forward after the embezzlement incident. The meeting continues for another 2 hours. Luca presents his plan, new oversight procedures, quarterly audits, restructured executive team. He's calm, articulate, commanding. This is him at his best. Finally, Gerald calls for the vote. All in favor of maintaining Luca Rossi as CEO? 5 hands go up immediately. Catherine, Gerald, and 3 others. All opposed. Richard and his 3 allies vote against. 5-4. Luca keeps his position. The relief in the room is palpable. Richard storms out without a word, but the others congratulate Luca, shaking his hand and clapping his back. When the room finally clears, it's just us. Luca leans against the table, exhaling slowly. We did it, he says. You did it.
No.
He pulls me into his arms. We did it. What you said about turning down the promotion, about earning your position. That's what changed Gerald's mind. You saved me, Isla. We saved each other. He kisses me, long and deep, not caring that we're in the boardroom with glass walls where anyone could see. Let's go home, he murmurs against my lips. I want to celebrate properly. Oh, what did you have in mind? His eyes darken. I'm thinking we start in the shower, move to the bed, and don't leave the apartment for the rest of the weekend. That's a very thorough celebration. I'm a thorough man. We're laughing as we leave, his arm around my waist, and for the first time in weeks, everything feels right. But as we step into the elevator, my phone buzzes. A text from Emma. We need to talk. It's urgent. I stare at the message, dread pooling in my stomach. Everything okay? Luca asks. I slip my phone into my pocket. Everything's fine. But I'm lying. And somehow I know that whatever Emma wants to talk about is going to change everything. Chapter 8. Crisis Point. I don't call Emma back until Saturday morning. Luca is still asleep, exhausted from the past week, and I slip out of bed to make the call from the living room. Emma answers on the first ring. Finally. I've been trying to reach you for 2 days. I'm sorry. It's been crazy at work. What's going on? I need you to meet me.
Today.
It's important, and I can't do this over the phone. The urgency in her voice makes my pulse quicken. Emma, what's wrong? Just meet me. The coffee shop near your old apartment. 1 hour. She hangs up before I can argue. I leave a note for Luca, had to run out back soon and take a cab across town. The whole ride, I'm imagining scenarios. Is she sick? In trouble? Why the cryptic message? Emma is already there when I arrive, sitting at a corner table with 2 cups of coffee. She looks terrible. Dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. Thanks for coming, she says as I sit. What's going on? You look awful. I need to show you something. She pulls out her phone, pulling up a photo. Do you recognize this guy? It's a man, maybe 40, handsome in a slick way. He's standing outside Rossi Enterprises, talking on his phone.
No.
Should I? His name is David Chen. He's a reporter for the Financial Review, and he's been asking questions about you. My blood runs cold. What kind of questions? About your relationship with Luca Rossi. About whether you were sleeping with him while you were his assistant. About whether you've received preferential treatment. She sets down her phone. Isla, I think someone is feeding him information.
Who?
I don't know. But David called me 3 days ago. Said he'd heard we were friends and wanted to get my perspective on your relationship. She leans forward. I didn't tell him anything.
But
he knew things, Isla. He knew you moved in with Luca after only a month. He knew about the promotion to strategic development. He even knew about the COO offer. My hands are shaking. How would he know about the COO offer? Luca only mentioned that to me and the board. I stop. Richard. What? Richard Palmer. He's a board member who's been trying to oust Luca. We had a vote yesterday and Luca won. Richard must have leaked this as revenge. Emma's expression is grim. Well, it's working. David told me he's running a story on Monday. Front page of the business section. CEO's secret romance, inappropriate relationship, or modern love story. I feel like I'm going to be sick. This will destroy everything. The board might reconsider their vote. Luca's reputation. What about your reputation? Emma grabs my hand. Isla, they're going to paint you as the ambitious temp who slept her way to the top. Your career will be over. We didn't. I can't even finish the sentence. I know you didn't. But that won't matter once this story runs. She squeezes my hand. I'm telling you this because you need to get ahead of it.
Talk to a lawyer.
Put out your own statement. Do something before Monday. I stand abruptly. I need to go. I need to tell Luca. Isla. Thank you for warning me. Really. I'm sorry I was short with you before. Just be careful, okay? I don't trust that guy not to hurt you. I'm already halfway to the door. He won't. He loves me. But as I race back to the apartment, Emma's words echo in my head. I don't trust that guy not to hurt you. Luca is in the kitchen when I burst through the door, making breakfast in nothing but pajama pants. He looks up with a smile that fades when he sees my face. What happened? I tell him everything, David Chun, the questions, the Monday article. With each word, his expression grows darker. Richard, he says when I finish. That bastard. What do we do? He's already moving, grabbing his phone. I'm calling our legal team and PR. We're not letting Richard control this narrative. For the next hour, our apartment becomes a war room. Luca's lawyer, Maria Santos, arrives first, followed by the head of PR, James Chen, no relation to the reporter, thankfully. They spread out across the dining table with laptops and legal pads. The good news, Maria says, is that they can't actually prove any wrongdoing, because there wasn't any. The bad news is that innuendo is almost as damaging as fact in these situations. So, what's our play? Luca asks. We go public. On our terms. Before the article runs. James pulls up a document on his laptop. I've drafted a joint statement. You review it. We release it tomorrow morning, and by the time the Financial Review runs their piece, it's old news. He turns the laptop so we can read. Luca Rossi and Isla Bennett confirm they are in a committed romantic relationship that began after Ms. Bennett's transition from Mr. Rossi's personal assistant to the strategic development team. Both parties have consistently maintained professional boundaries and followed all company policies regarding workplace relationships. Ms. Bennett's promotions have been based solely on merit and job performance, which is documented in her personnel file. Rossi Enterprises stands by both individuals and considers this matter a private, personal affair. It's good, Luca says. Professional but warm. Though I want to add something. He takes the laptop and types. When he turns it back, there's a new paragraph. We understand that as CEO, Mr. Rossi's personal life may be of public interest. However, we ask for respect and privacy as we navigate our relationship. Ms. Bennett is a talented professional who has earned every opportunity through hard work and dedication. Any suggestion otherwise is not only inaccurate, but insulting to her accomplishments. That's better, I say quietly. Damn right it is. He looks at Maria. What about Richard? Can we prove he leaked this? Prove?
No.
Strongly suspect and act accordingly? Yes. She flips through her notes. He violated his confidentiality agreement by sharing internal company information with the press. That's grounds for removal from the board. Do it. Luca, wait. I touch his arm. If you go after Richard, it'll look like retaliation. Like you're the vindictive one. I don't care how it looks. But I do. I stand, facing him. If you remove Richard now, it proves his point. That you're not fit to lead because you let personal feelings cloud your judgment. So, I just let him get away with it?
No.
You let him hang himself. I look at Maria. Is there any way to make the leak public without directly accusing Richard? Let people draw their own conclusions. Maria considers this. We could release a statement condemning the leak and expressing disappointment that confidential board discussions were shared with the media. We don't name Richard, but the board members will know who it was. And reporters will dig. Do that, Luca says. Both statements. Make sure they're ready to go by tomorrow morning. After Maria and James leave, we're alone again. Luca pours us both scotch, even though it's barely noon. I'm sorry, he says, staring into his glass. This is my fault. I should have anticipated Richard would retaliate. How could you have known? Because I know him. I know how petty he is, how vindictive. He sets down his glass and pulls me close. I'm not sorry about us. But I am sorry that loving me has put you in the crosshairs. I'm not. I cup his face. I'd rather be here in the mess, with you than safe and alone somewhere else. He kisses me deeply, desperately. I love you. Whatever happens on Monday, whatever they write, I love you. I love you too. We spend the rest of the day preparing. Luca briefs the executive team, warning them about the article. I call my parents, explaining the situation before they see it in the news. My mother is worried, my father pragmatic. Do you love him? Dad asks. Yes. Does he treat you well? Yes. Then screw what anyone else thinks. It's the most dad thing he's ever said, and it makes me cry. That night, lying in bed, Luca says, I've been thinking about something. What? After this blows over, and it will blow over, I want to make us official. Really official. I prop myself up on one elbow. What does that mean? He reaches into the nightstand and pulls out a small velvet box. My heart stops. I've had this for 3 weeks, he says, opening it to reveal a stunning diamond ring. I was going to wait. Do it properly, romantic dinner, down on one knee. But then I realized, we've never done anything properly. Why start now? Luca. I'm not asking you to marry me right now. I know that would look bad, like we're trying to legitimize something that doesn't need legitimizing. But I want you to know, he takes my hand. This is forever for me. You're at Isla. And when the dust settles, when Richard is just a bad memory and our relationship is old news, I'm going to ask you properly. And I really hope you'll say yes. Tears are streaming down my face. You're insane.
About you?
Absolutely. We've known each other for 6 months. And I've been sure about you since month 1. He slides the ring onto my finger. Just try it on. See how it feels. It feels perfect. Like it was made for me. How did you know my size? I stole one of your rings and had it sized. Monica helped. You told Monica you were going to propose? I told her I was going to spend the rest of my life with you. She suggested the ring might help. He kisses my knuckles. Do you like it? It's beautiful. But Luca. I know. We can't announce it. We can't even tell anyone. But I needed you to know that I'm all in. That this isn't some temporary thing for me. I launch myself at him, kissing him until we're both breathless. Yes. He pulls back. Yes, what? Yes, I'll marry you. Not now, but someday. When the time is right. Yes. His smile is radiant. Yeah. We make love slowly, tenderly, and I keep the ring on. It catches the light from the windows, throwing tiny rainbows across the ceiling, and I let myself imagine a future where this isn't complicated, where it's just us, happy, without board members and reporters and scandal. It's a nice dream. Sunday morning, the statements go live. The response is immediate and overwhelming. Social media explodes with opinions, some supportive, many critical. Hashtag CEO Romance trends on Twitter. Think pieces appear with titles like, When is Workplace Romance Appropriate? And The Power Dynamics of Executive Relationships. By noon, Luca's phone is ringing constantly. Reporters wanting comments, investors expressing concern, old friends coming out of the woodwork. Turn it off, I tell him after the 20th call. Just turn it all off. He does, and we spend the afternoon in self-imposed isolation. We don't check social media, don't read the articles, don't engage with the chaos outside our apartment. Monday morning arrives too soon. The Financial Review article is exactly as bad as Emma predicted. It's technically factual. They don't outright accuse us of anything illegal or unethical, but the implication is clear. The headline alone is damaging. Rossi CEO's romantic entanglement raises questions about workplace culture. Entanglement, Luca says bitterly, staring at his iPad. Like we're tangled up in something sordid instead of in love. Don't read it, I advise, even though I've read it 3 times already. But it's impossible not to. The article is everywhere, picked up by other outlets, shared thousands of times, dissected and analyzed. At work, the reactions are mixed. Some people congratulate us, saying it's about time workplace relationships were normalized. Others give me cold looks in the hallway, whisper when I pass. Catherine calls me into her office on Tuesday. How are you holding up, she asks. I'm fine. Liar. But she says it kindly. Look, I'm going to be straight with you. Some of the board members are uncomfortable. Not because they think you did anything wrong, but because the optics are complicated. My stomach drops. Are they reconsidering the vote?
No.
Luca's position is secure. But she hesitates. There's talk of you moving to a different company. A lateral move, same title and pay, but it would get you out of Rossi Enterprises. Remove the appearance of conflict. They want me to leave? They want the story to die. And as long as you're both here, it won't. She leans forward. I'm not saying you should go. I'm saying you should think about what's best for you. Not for Luca, not for the company.
For you.
I leave her office feeling numb. That night, I don't tell Luca about the conversation. We order dinner, watch a movie, pretend everything is normal. But it's not normal. And it won't be normal again. On Wednesday, things come to a head. I'm in a meeting when my phone buzzes with an emergency text from Luca, my office.
Now.
I excuse myself and rush to the executive floor. His door is closed, voices raise inside. I knock and the conversation stops. Come in, Luca calls. Inside are Luca, Catherine, and Gerald Morrison, the board member who is the deciding vote. Gerald has something to tell us, Luca says, his voice tight. Gerald looks uncomfortable. I've been approached by Richard Palmer. He's threatening to call another board meeting. Says he has evidence that the relationship began while you were still Luca's direct report. That's a lie, I say immediately. I know. But he's claiming he has emails, text messages. Says he can prove you two were involved before the job change. My mind races. We were careful. We didn't email, barely texted, never anything that could be traced. Then I remember. The night of the rooftop party. We left together. And I sent Emma a text that night. I kissed him. Emma, I kissed my boss, and it was incredible. Emma, I whisper. Everyone looks at me. My friend Emma. She knows we kissed before I changed positions. If Richard got to her, would she talk?
Luca asks.
I don't know. She's been worried about me. Told me this was moving too fast. If Richard convinced her she was protecting me, I meet Luca's eyes. I need to call her. I step into the hallway, hands shaking as I dial. Emma answers on the 4th ring. Did you talk to Richard Palmer? I ask without preamble. Silence. Then, Isla, he said he was trying to help you. That Luca was taking advantage. What did you tell him? Just that you'd mentioned kissing Luca before you changed jobs. I thought it would make them see that he was the one with the power, that he initiated things. You told him about the text. I showed him the text. Her voice is small. Isla, I'm sorry. I thought I was protecting you. I hang up without another word and return to Luca's office. 3 pairs of eyes stare at me. She showed him the text. I say flatly. From the night we kissed. Before I moved to strategic development. Luca closes his eyes. Damn it. This changes things, Gerald says. If Richard can prove the relationship began while you were still Luca's assistant, it violates company policy. At best, it's a major scandal. At worst, it's grounds for termination. Termination? I can barely breathe. For one kiss. For violating policy regarding relationships between direct supervisors and subordinates. Gerald looks sympathetic but firm. The policy exists for a reason. So, what are our options? Luca asks. Catherine speaks up. We can argue that one kiss doesn't constitute a relationship. That the actual relationship began after the job change. Richard won't care about semantics, Gerald says. He has ammunition now and he'll use it. Then I'll resign. Everyone turns to look at me. If I resign, there's no scandal. I continue. No investigation, no board meeting, no ammunition for Richard. I leave quietly, and this all goes away. Absolutely not, Luca says immediately. It makes sense. I said no. He stands crossing to me. You're not sacrificing your career because Richard is a petty bastard. And you're not risking your company because of me. Yes, I am. Without hesitation. He takes my hands. We'll fight this. Together. Luca. I'm not losing you. His voice breaks. I can't. Gerald clears his throat. There might be another option. We all turn to him. If you were engaged, he says carefully, that would change the narrative. Make it clear this is serious, not some inappropriate fling. It wouldn't erase the policy violation, but it would make it harder for Richard to paint Luca as predatory. We can't get engaged just for optics, I say. This is crazy, I say. We can't. Luca pulls me aside, lowering his voice. I know this isn't how you wanted this to happen. I know it's fast and messy and public. But Isla, he touches my face. I meant every word I said when I gave you that ring. This is real for me. So if you need time, if you're not ready, I'll find another way. But if you are ready. I look at his face. This man who's turned my life upside down in the best and worst ways. Who challenges me and frustrates me and loves me with an intensity that should terrify me but doesn't. I'm ready, I whisper. His smile is like the sun coming out. Yes, yes. He kisses me right there in front of Catherine and Gerald, and I kiss him back. When we break apart, he's grinning. Guess we're getting married. Guess we are. Catherine is smiling. I'll call PR. We'll need photos, a statement. And we'll need to make it believable, Gerald adds. A proper announcement, not just a press release. By the end of the day, it's done. Photos of us together, my hand clearly showing the ring. A statement about how we fell in love while working together, how Luca proposed weeks ago, how we're planning a small, private wedding. The response is immediate and overwhelming. Congratulations flood social media. The story shifts from inappropriate relationship to modern workplace romance. Even some of the harshest critics soften, saying an engagement changes things. Richard Palmer releases a statement saying he's disappointed in the deception but wishes us well. Translation: he's furious but has no more ammunition. That night, back at the apartment, Luca pours champagne. To us, he says, raising his glass. The most dramatically engaged couple in New York. To us, I echo. And to hoping we survive this. We drink, and then he pulls me close. Are you okay? Really? I don't know. This is a lot. I look down at the ring, which I'm now wearing publicly. We're engaged, Luca. Engaged. And it happened because of a scandal, not because of romance. Hey. He tilts my chin up. The scandal forced the timing. But the engagement? That was always going to happen. I told you you're it for me. I love you, I say, meaning it with every fiber of my being. I love you too. And I promise, he kisses me softly. I'm going to make this up to you. The proposal, the announcement, all of it. When this calms down, I'm going to do it properly. You don't have to. I want to. You deserve romance and flowers and a proper proposal, not a strategic PR move. So that's what you're going to get. I laugh despite everything. You're ridiculous. I'm yours. Yeah, I whisper against his lips. You are. Chapter 9. The truth comes out. The next 2 weeks are a whirlwind. Wedding questions from everyone: when, where, how big. Magazine interview requests. Invitations to society events because apparently being Luca Rossi's fiancé makes me somebody now. It's overwhelming and surreal, and sometimes I have to remind myself that this is real. That we're actually engaged, actually planning a life together, actually going to get married. Not just for show. For real. On a quiet Sunday morning, 3 weeks after the announcement, I wake up to find Luca gone. There's a note on his pillow. Meet me on the roof. Wear something comfortable. The roof. Our building has a rooftop garden that residents rarely use. I throw on jeans and a sweater and take the elevator up. The sight that greets me steals my breath. The entire rooftop has been transformed. String lights overhead, a path of rose petals leading to the center where Luca stands in jeans and a button-down, looking nervous and hopeful and so handsome it hurts. What is this? I ask, walking toward him. Your proper proposal. He takes my hands. I know we're already engaged. I know we already told everyone.
But I needed to do this right.
The way you deserve. Luca, let me finish. He takes a breath. 6 months ago, I was just going through the motions. Building the company, making deals, but not really living. Then you walked into my office with those files, and everything changed.
You challenged me.
Made me laugh. Made me want to be better. And somewhere along the way, I fell completely, irrevocably in love with you. Tears are streaming down my face. I know this has been messy. I know we've done everything backwards and too fast, and in front of way too many people. But Isla, he drops to one knee, and my heart stops. I don't want to spend another day without you being mine in every possible way. So I'm asking properly, without scandals or board meetings or PR strategies. Will you marry me? Yes, I sob.
God, yes.
1,000 times yes. He stands, pulling me into his arms, and we're both crying and laughing. He slides the ring off my finger and then back on, and it feels different this time. Official.
Real.
I love you, he murmurs against my hair. I love you too. So much. We stay on the roof for hours, talking about the future. When we want to get married, spring, something small and intimate. Where we want to live, his apartment is closer to work, but maybe we find something that's ours together. Whether we want kids, yes, eventually, though the thought terrifies us both. It's the first time we've talked about these things without the pressure of scandal or public opinion, and it's wonderful. There's something I need to tell you, Luca says as we're watching the sunset.
What?
I talked to Catherine about the COO position. I'm not offering it to you anymore. My stomach drops.
What? Why?
Because you were right. People would always question whether you earned it. And because I think you can do something better. He turns to face me. I want you to start your own consulting firm. Specialize in strategic development for companies expanding into international markets. You have the skills, the experience, the language abilities. And I'll be your first client. Rossi Enterprises will contract with you for the Asian expansion. I stare at him. You want me to leave the company? I want you to build your own empire. One that's yours, not because of me, but because of you. He touches my face.
You're brilliant, Isla.
Too brilliant to be in anyone's shadow, even mine. That's terrifying. So is marrying me, but you said yes anyway. I laugh through my tears. You really think I can do this? I know you can, and I'll support you every step of the way. He kisses me softly, but it's your choice. If you want to stay at Rossi Enterprises, you can. If you want to do something else entirely, do that. I just want you to be happy. I think about it. My own firm, my own clients, my own reputation built on my own merit. Okay, I say, let's do it. His grin is brilliant. Yeah. But I'm going to need an office. Already taken care of. There's a space available in the building 2 blocks from Rossi Enterprises. Small, but perfect for starting out. And before you argue, he holds up a hand. It's not a gift. It's an investment. I'm your first client, remember? I have a vested interest in your success. You're impossible. You're engaged to me. That's your fault. We're laughing as we head back downstairs, and for the first time since this all started, everything feels right. Epilogue, new beginnings. 4 months later, I'm standing in my new office, Bennett International Consulting, looking at the contracts spread across my desk. 3 clients already, plus the ongoing work with Rossi Enterprises. It's small, but it's mine. My phone buzzes. Luca, dinner tonight? I have a surprise. Me, another surprise? I'm not sure I can handle more surprises. Luca, you'll like this one. Promise. My place at 7. I smile, shaking my head. Even after 10 months together, he still surprises me. I spend the rest of the afternoon finalizing a proposal for a new client, a tech startup looking to expand into Singapore. It's complex and challenging, and exactly the kind of work I love. At 7, I let myself into our apartment. Yes, sir. I finally gave up my old place last month, officially moving into Luca's, our, penthouse. In the kitchen, he calls. I find him cooking, sleeves rolled up, hair slightly messy. The sight makes me smile. What's the surprise? I ask, wrapping my arms around him from behind. Patience. He turns in my arms, kissing me. How was your day? Good. I'm meeting with the tech startup CEO tomorrow. I think they're going to sign. Of course they are. You're brilliant. He kisses me again. Now sit. Dinner's almost ready. Over pasta and wine, he tells me about his day, meetings, calls, the ongoing expansion. The Singapore office is thriving, with plans to open in Tokyo next quarter. After dinner, as we're cleaning up, he says, so, the surprise. Finally, he pulls an envelope from his pocket. Open it. Inside are 2 plane tickets. To Sicily. Leaving in 2 weeks. Sicily? I want you to meet my family. See where I came from. His eyes are soft. And I thought we could get married there. Just us and family. A small ceremony at my grandmother's house. Nothing fancy, nothing public. Just us. My eyes fill with tears. Luca, we've done everything else backwards. Let's do this one thing right. Get married because we love each other, not because of board meetings or PR. What do you say? Yes. I throw myself into his arms.
God, yes. When?
Spring, like we talked about. April. Which means, he pulls back to look at me. Which means we're getting married in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. I laugh. That's insane. 4 months later, I'm standing in my new office, Bennett International Consulting, looking at the contracts spread across my desk. 3 clients already, plus the ongoing work with Rossi Enterprises. It's small, but it's mine. My phone buzzes. Luca, dinner tonight? I have a surprise. Me, another surprise? I'm not sure I can handle more surprises. Luca, you'll like this one. Promise. My place at 7. I smile, shaking my head. Even after 10 months together, he still surprises me. I spend the rest of the afternoon finalizing a proposal for a new client, a tech startup looking to expand into Singapore. It's complex and challenging, and exactly the kind of work I love. At 7, I let myself into our apartment. Yes, sir. I finally gave up my old place last month, officially moving into Luca's, our, penthouse. In the kitchen, he calls. I find him cooking, sleeves rolled up, hair slightly messy. The sight makes me smile. What's the surprise? I ask, wrapping my arms around him from behind. Patience. He turns in my arms, kissing me. How was your day? Good. I'm meeting with the tech startup CEO tomorrow. I think they're going to sign. Of course they are. You're brilliant. He kisses me again. Now sit. Dinner's almost ready. Over pasta and wine, he tells me about his day, meetings, calls, the ongoing expansion. The Singapore office is thriving, with plans to open in Tokyo next quarter. After dinner, as we're cleaning up, he says, so, the surprise. Finally, he pulls an envelope from his pocket. Open it. Inside are 2 plane tickets. To Sicily. Leaving in 2 weeks. Sicily? I want you to meet my family. See where I came from. His eyes are soft. And I thought we could get married there. Just us and family. A small ceremony at my grandmother's house. Nothing fancy, nothing public. Just us. My eyes fill with tears. Luca, we've done everything else backwards. Let's do this one thing right. Get married because we love each other, not because of board meetings or PR. What do you say? Yes. I throw myself into his arms.
God, yes.
When? Spring, like we talked about. April. Which means, he pulls back to look at me. Which means we're getting married in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. I laugh. That's insane. We're insane. Why fight it? He grins. Besides, I've waited long enough to make you my wife. I don't want to wait anymore. 6 weeks. I repeat, trying to process it. Too fast. I look at this man, this impossible, infuriating, wonderful man who changed my life, who saw me when I was invisible, who challenged me to be better, who loves me with an intensity that still takes my breath away. No, I say. It's perfect. 6 weeks later. The ceremony is everything I didn't know I wanted. Luca's grandmother's house sits on a hill overlooking the Mediterranean, all white stone and bougainvillea. The guest list is tiny. Luca's family, my parents, Emma, we made up, Vincenzo, Monica, Catherine. No press, no board members, no drama. Just us. I'm wearing a simple white dress, nothing fancy, and Luca is in a light gray suit that makes his eyes look impossibly dark. When I walk down the makeshift aisle, just a path through the garden, he's crying. "You're beautiful," he whispers when I reach him. "You're not so bad yourself." The ceremony is in Italian and English, Luca translating the important parts. When it's time for vows, he takes my hands. "I don't have fancy words prepared," he starts. "Just the truth. You walked into my life when I needed you most, even though I didn't know it. You challenge me, frustrate me, make me laugh, make me crazy. You're the smartest person I know, and you make me want to be better every single day. I love you, Isla. I will love you when we're old and gray. I will love you when you're irritated with me, which is often." That gets a laugh. "I will love you through every challenge, every triumph, every boring Tuesday. You're my partner, my best friend, my everything. And I can't wait to spend the rest of my life proving it to you." I'm openly crying now. "Your turn," the officiant says gently. I take a shaky breath. "When I met you, I was invisible, going through the motions, playing it safe. Then you saw me, really saw me, and everything changed. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. You pushed me to be braver, stronger, better. Loving you has been the scariest, most exhilarating experience of my life. And I wouldn't change a single moment, not the scandals, not the chaos, not the backwards way we did everything. Because it brought us here. And here is perfect. I love you, Luca. Today, tomorrow, always. I now pronounce you husband and wife." He kisses me before the officiant even finishes the sentence, and I kiss him back, both of us laughing and crying. Our family cheers. Vincenzo shouts something in Italian that makes Luca's grandmother sweat him. The sun sets over the Mediterranean, painting everything gold. Later, at the reception, Emma pulls me aside. "I was wrong," she says. "About him, about you, about everything. I'm sorry. You were trying to protect me."
Still.
"You too." She looks at where Luca is dancing with his grandmother, both of them laughing. "You're good together. Really good." "We are." I smile. Took us a while to figure it out, but we got there. As the night winds down, Luca and I slip away to the beach. We walk barefoot in the sand, hand in hand, the sounds of the party fading behind us. "Mrs. Rossi," he says, testing out the name. "Ms. Bennett Rossi," I correct. "I'm keeping my name. For business." Noted. He pulls me close. Happy. Deliriously. Good. That's my job now. Making you deliriously happy. You're very good at your job. I have excellent motivation. He kisses me, slow and deep. "I love you. I love you too." We stand there on the beach, wrapped in each other, the Mediterranean lapping at our feet. And I think about that day 10 months ago, when I walked into his office with those files. How nervous I was. How impossible this all seemed. And how very, very glad I am that I took the chance. "What are you thinking?" Luca asks. "That I do it all over again. Every messy, complicated, backwards moment." Me too. He rests his forehead against mine. Here's to us. And to doing everything the wrong way and somehow making it perfect. To us, I echo. And as we kiss under the stars, I know with absolute certainty that this, messy and complicated and absolutely perfect, is exactly where I'm supposed to be. The end. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.